Oh, what the heck is happening?
On.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Awesome.
What's up, man?
Okay, you can hear us.
Thanks
okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me good?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me on your show. It's been really good. I'm glad you had Adam Glass on there.
Yeah, that was really cool. We learned a lot from him.
I learned a lot about him from being on Motivation. Did you guys ever listen to Motivation and Muscle? That podcast?
We haven't yet.
No.
I don't know if you could even get the archives, because Eric Fiorello is the one that hosted it. He was in Albany, New York, but he died. He just died like 6 months ago from a stroke, tragically.
Oh, man.
So, but he had over 1,200 episodes. Wow. He interviewed me there on it 3 or 4 times. But Adam Glass has been on it. Jed Johnson's been on it. Everybody. Rick Brown from Mr. Mace Man. Do you guys know about Mace and all that?
No, we just jumped into doing all this at the beginning of the pandemic, and most of the grip stuff that I knew about was just off Gripboard, and everything else in my background is all MMA stuff.
Yeah, I've heard you say that. Yeah, Motivation and Muscle actually has gotten me exposed to everything that I've been into, because I've been training for 30 years. I started out, and actually I started out bodybuilding, like a lot of us do when we're teenagers. When I was about 15, my friend and I we stopped skateboarding and went right into bodybuilding. And we skated for like 4 years before that. So we were really into achieving good, tricks and getting better at things. So bodybuilding was a neat transition, but that was it for me, man. Lifting and learning about anything training wise, especially for strength and size and all that was my thing. But that was about in 1990. But about 10 years later is when I ordered that book, Dinosaur Training. Have you guys read that before?
I have not. That is on my list, though. I've heard a lot of good things about dinosaur training.
See, I'm like the age of like Josh Bryant and Zach Evanesh and Joe DeFranco. You guys know those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about the same age. So when I listen to all their stuff and find out that they were inspired by books like Dinosaur Training, I'm like, man, I share my brain with these guys, Yeah. And Eric Fiorello was kind of the same way, He was older than us, but he was. It was like I read about back in that, when I got that book, I read about in 99 is when I got it, 98 I should say. I read about grip, thick-handled training, all types of grip training, captains of crush. There was stuff in there about Indian clubs and maces and stone lifting and strongman types training. So that's, the bodybuilding only took me so far. I didn't really have I didn't feel like I had the potential. I guess I could have stuck with it, because my buddy stuck with it and he became Mr. Washington in 2011. But I just pursued the strength and just the history, kind of like, I think that's what you're doing, right? The one with, what's your name with the PhD?
That's me, Frank.
Frank, yeah. Yeah, you studied. What did you study?
Primarily performance psychology, and I did a dissertation on like the mental aspects of power breaking. That's martial arts breaking, like brick breaking.
Oh wow! Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, this dinosaur training, it's not. I get the martial arts to a point. I guess I don't understand it, because I've been learning stuff from friends, especially lately, about the details related to martial arts. I never have pursued that because that was never in my interest, but strength and the mental mental strength and being able to set and achieve goals for yourself, whether it's in powerlifting or in strongman, or just have the determination. See, back in the 99 and 2000, I had my buddies and I doing strongman workouts in our alley before it was even popular, here in Walla Walla, Washington. I mean, I didn't know that the whole strongman world was already going pretty strong at that time. My buddy Mike Cromer, he's in Tri-Cities. I grew up in Tri-Cities originally. You know where that is, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. My wife was born in Tri-Cities, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Which part?
Kennewick.
Okay, yeah, I'm from Pasco.
Okay.
But have you heard of Mike Cromer and Lisa? Lisa and Mike Cromer, they're strongmen, professionals.
Oh wow.
I mean, yeah, they've done a lot. In fact, Lisa just did what's the games called? That's kind of the primer for World's Strongest Man every year. It's United States Strongman, or one of the affiliations. I don't remember which one, but she just won her
league. That's the one that leads up to it a lot of the time.
Which one?
Strongman League.
Okay, yeah, it's the one that like Cale Beck will talk about and stuff. Cale Beck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that whole family, that whole strongman community is like a family. And because Mike and Lisa have been into it all this time, I took what I learned from like dinosaur training and went back to Tri-Cities and hooked up with that, because I knew them before I moved to Walla Walla. I knew them from the gym when Mike and I were teenagers. And then I learned about how really strongman had been going pretty well in Tri-Cities during that time too. They had a bunch of strongman competitions there. And Tod Becraft that you had on the other day,
yeah.
He doing it over in Portland. So all that stuff was going on while I was training it with my buddies here in Walla Walla. But I was kind of focused. I thought, in my small imagination, living in Walla Walla, I thought powerlifting was the thing. So, I mean, that's just what I was focused. I did all that other stuff to get the strength to do powerlifting, and I started with WABDL. You heard of WABDL, World Association of Benchers and Deadlifters? Yeah. And I've broken state and national records back then in deadlift and bench, because that's what all it was deadlift and bench. I didn't do full power meets until later, but WABDL's kind of got my whole competition type mentality started. But I don't need a competition to drive myself. I like the pursuit of strength and encouraging others to pursue it. My biggest thing is when people will come up to me and say, man, I want to get big and strong, I want to get like you, but I just, I don't have the weights, or I don't have the money to join the gym and things like that. And it's like, no, that's not where you come from. You got to come from, a determination to do something. And I could show you how to do it. I could show you and I even have in my gym, my power gym, like I was telling you guys about in my email, but Jason Gillen's power gym is on the other side of this wall where I'm at right now. And it's just a small gym. You'll see on my YouTube channel, Jason Gillen's power gym. I have Jason Gillen's power gym, one word, and then Jason Gillen's power gym, two words. The one with two words was kind of I didn't know what I was doing, and as far as YouTube goes. So I restarted this one, Jason Gillen's power gym, with one word. And there's a whole bunch more videos on there. But everything you see me do is based from that inspiration back in the day of dinosaur training. But in that gym, you'll see I have a picture of Brooks Kubik, the guy that wrote Dinosaur Training, and he autographed it for me. I was just really into him, and I just spread that enthusiasm that he had to others. And I kind of think, when I look back on it, I could almost say that a lot of CrossFit and especially strongman now, has its roots from that book, you know, because if you talk to certain key people, they're like, oh yeah, by all means, I know that book, you know. But a lot of the guys that are into it from about the mid 2000s till now, they don't have any clue that that book was written, you know. But if they were to ask somebody, they'd find out, hey, that that came from there, you know. It had to, you know, or the references that Brooks has in, because he has a big bibliography in that dinosaur training of where he got all his stuff, you know, from Milo magazine and Iron Mind, and even before that, you know, Paul Anderson and Dr. Terry Todd.
Oh yeah.
You know, all that stuff.
Terry Todd,
yeah.
Yeah, I've read tons of information from that guy. Absolutely.
Well, my wife really treated me this last spring. We always go on good vacations with our kids. I got 2 boys. They're 11 and 9 now, and we've gone to a lot of cool places. But this last spring, she goes, I booked us a trip that you're going to love. And I go, where is it? We went to the Arnold, you know. We went to Columbus.
Awesome.
And because I'm as big and as strong as the world's strongest men, seems like, as soon as we landed there, they said, well, it's closed, you know, it's because of quarantine, it's going to be canceled. And I told my family, I go, hey, we're on vacation, you know, it's not about me. We could do whatever, you know, don't worry about the Arnold. If it's closed, it's closed. So the first thing I did is stop by Matt Winning's gym, you know, in Columbus, Ohio. And talking to them, they're like, it's not closed. The expo is canceled, but you go to the Arnold. You know, if you're here, you need to go. And I'm so glad I did, because like I said, I'm as big, as strong, and as strong as a lot of those guys. So I was just backstage with everybody. You know, I got pictures with everybody, Martins and you know, Marius Pujanowski, Kiliuszkowski and Halfthor. Everybody, you know, I got to meet everybody, and it was just like, this is amazing. You know, and I already knew Ode Haugen because I had run in Tri-Cities and here in Walla Walla. I've actually what do you call it? Not sponsored, but I ran grip meets. I ran Iron Mind grip meets here. You know, here in Walla Walla and in Tri-Cities. I had the one in Tri-Cities I called the Columbia River Grip Challenge. And if you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see me and Bill Kazmaier. Did you see that one?
Oh, that's awesome. No, I did not. I saw
there's a video of
Arnold, but I didn't see the Bill Kazmaier. That's crazy.
Yeah, on the YouTube channel, I went to Spokane to the Inland Empire Classic. I always go to the big bodybuilding shows like the Inland Empire Classic in Spokane, or to the Emerald Cup, you know, when they have that in the spring. And I've met everybody from there too, you know, Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler. I've met all the bodybuilders, you know, over the years. But when we went to Spokane a couple years ago, Bill Kazmaier was there hosting the strongman meet. And he out of his own kindness, he helped me promote my grip meet. You'll see that it's on here somewhere. But I go, hey man, can you say a few words? Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's Big Kaz on grip training. That's the name of the video. But he helped me promote my competition. And the video itself of the Columbia River Grip Challenge and pictures of it are also on my Facebook page. I'm only doing Facebook, Jason Gillen's Power Gym, and YouTube. I'm not really doing anything else because, you know, I'm not into being famous or whatever people are doing for it, you know, making money off of it.
Yeah,
because you know, you
do Instagram, but we don't like tag all our stuff to a bunch of links to make it really hot or get millions of views. Now we figure if we have a nice little community and we're helping those people out, that's great.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's crazy how everything has come together though in my life, because if you combine well, the dinosaur training link, you know, the spark, and then all the branches that came off of it, like me being involved in grip because of that show, Motivation and Muscle, getting to know more about Jed Johnson. I'm friends with Jed Johnson now, you know. I actually should be more in contact with Adam Glass, but I don't really think he knows who I am. Him and I have both been on Motivation and Muscle several times, you know.
Well,
But yeah, I'm gonna reach. Hopefully, he'll see this episode, and but we've both been on Motivation. Even Martins Lisi's was on Motivation and Muscle.
Wow.
I know, and Old Haugen's been on there. It's crazy. So because of that podcast, and because of all my interests, I've actually made connections with all these people all over the world. You know, I've met all over this country. On my phone, I got Ed Cohn I got his contact. I text him all the time. Wow. You know, I know it's pretty amazing.
Fantastic. It's neat how in strongman you can actually talk to the Michael Jordans of the sport, where in some other sports you can't do that. You know, so it's a real
exactly.
I like that about it.
Well, that's the whole thing, because you know, and on top of all of that, my wife and I, because of the winters being so cold, we would go to LA, usually to Venice Beach, and we have an Airbnb that we stay in a block and a half and around the corner from the pit, you know, Muscle Beach, right there, right on the boardwalk. Our apartment's right there. And when we go with the boys, when we end up going there, we're there for 3 weeks. So I have been in Venice Golds every day for 3 solid weeks at a time. And I've actually gotten to train with Mike O'Hearn, you know, over there. He's a guy that's on one of my videos here too. He did squats with me, and Mona, his girlfriend, took a video of us. So, because, you know, if anybody in the bodybuilding world that I buy into, Mike O'Hearn's definitely, I don't know what you guys think of him, but I buy into him being natural. Yeah. Because I get his dedication. I've seen it firsthand. When he says he's there at 4 a.m, he is there at 4 a.m, and he's been doing that for 40 years, you know. And a lot of people badmouth him and stuff, and it's like, he's legitimately as strong as he is. And if he's done any kind of drugs, I don't know what it would be, you know. I don't care. I really don't care, you know, because I've also got to meet the steroid users too, and that doesn't bother me either, you know. Like Ed Cohn, he doesn't have any problem talking about it. Yeah. And even he will say, heck yeah, I've done drugs. You know, we all know he did drugs, but he says he buys into Mike O'Hearn too. You know, he believes him, you know. But that's how personal I've gotten with these people. I've spent time with them and talked to them, and, you know, I feel like I know even Mark Bell, you know. I've been around Mark Bell 3 different times. And from Venice Golds, Chris Bell invited me to
more about benching than him.
Huh?
Few people that know more about benching than Mark Bell, man.
I know. And at Venice Golds, Chris Bell invited. I was in there working out one day, and I could hear this voice, and I looked around, and I go, Chris Bell, you know. He looks at me, and you know, there's a picture on my Facebook page of him and I shaking hands. But I go, man, I really want to meet your brother. And he goes, hey, dude, listen, tonight there's going to be a screening of Prescription Thugs. Have you guys seen that? Uh-uh. That's one of Chris, you know, he did Bigger, Faster, Stronger.
I saw that one.
And then he did Prescription Thugs, which is really good. I mean, you got to see that one. But I got to actually go to the screening of that with Chris and Mark Bell, and Mark's parents were there, his wife was there, and the whole audience was full of celebrities like C.T. Fletcher and Chad Wesley Smith and a bunch of WWE wrestlers, you know, a bunch of them. That's cool. And that'll make a lot of sense if you watch that documentary, because you'll see how how drugs really hurt a lot. Prescription drugs hurt a lot of wrestlers. And Mark Bell was a wrestler, and so was Chris. They were both involved with the WWE, so they know firsthand.
Dark side of the ring, and they did a whole episode about that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then Chris and Mark's brother, died from it. Mike Bell, Mad Dog.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, that documentary will blow your mind, because I don't want to spoil it too much, but you'll be shocked to see what happens to Chris in the middle of making that documentary. It's pretty cool, man. So
that's awesome.
But I was in the stinking theater with all these people, and I was sitting by, and I was surrounded by wrestlers sitting all around me, and I'm actually talking to them during the thing, and they're telling me stories and stuff. And Sofia Vergara, or whatever her name is, her husband. He's a celebrity. I don't remember what his name is, but he actually conducted a panel interview on the stage with a whole bunch of the key people in that film. So it's like, it was Hollywood all the way. I know, it's all because of this thing that you guys and I love. It just, if you start getting out there, you probably met a bunch of people yourselves, and if you keep this show going, it's gonna just, you're gonna pick up where Eric left off with that motivation and muscle, because he actually made contact. Because of him, he made contacts with key stone lifters in Scotland and stuff, and those guys are friends of mine too.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, we love the stone lifting.
Like Martin Jancic, have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten to know him. He actually is a friend of mine. All the other ones. What's the father and son? The son, he could do the Denny stones, and he's only like 150 pounds.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, the rocker.
That's incredibly strong. There's a small guy that does the Husafel as well. Or that.
I know.
It's just incredible. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that episode with Tod Becraft, his buddy Mark Wechter is also a very close friend of mine too. He's a superhero in this area. I mean, he's like a middleweight, over 50. I think he's about 50. Just an amazing. Nobody beats him in strongman. Nobody beats him in amateur Highland games. He was at the Arnold that I went to. I got to watch him do his Highland stuff. But we're very good friends, and he actually took that Husafel all the way around the sheep pen himself.
Nice.
Yeah, you need to have Mark on this show, because Mark, of anybody in the Northwest, I don't know why he doesn't get enough credit, because he's superhuman.
Yeah, we'll reach out to him for sure.
If you shoot us his contact info, we'll definitely try to get him on the show for sure.
Yeah, Todd will have it for sure.
Yeah, we're working with Todd too, especially with our first event that we're hosting. Todd's going to be a big part of it, so we're excited for that.
What event is that going to be?
It's our first annual. We're going to do a couch potato garage, golden potato lift off, basically, and we're having it sponsored, or not sponsored, but certified by Arm Lifting USA.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, Todd's going to help us out.
And like I said, I'm a arm lifting sponsor myself, and like I'm really good friends with Owen Haugen. So.
And then Todd also has Jesse Merende's number 3 gripper that he's going to let us use at that competition.
That's so amazing. Awesome.
There's a lot of history in that contest. Within the 20th anniversary for Rolling Thunder as well. So yeah, it's cool. It's going to be a lot of fun.
When do you plan on doing that?
That's July 17th.
I definitely want to be there for sure.
Yeah, come down. Absolutely.
For sure. We'll make sure.
I got a really. I'll tell you more about this in a little bit, but I got a really good friend of mine, Matt Brown, that also knows Todd, and he's only like 10 miles away from you guys. He's over in Washougal.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm actually going over to Washougal after this interview and visiting with my papa, and we're gonna do dinner. So
it's wild.
Sweet.
Yeah,
small world, man.
Yeah, Matt acts at my arm lifting event that I had here in my basement. Lisa Cromer qualified for the Worlds, and she actually went to the Worlds in Russia from my meet here. But Matt Brown actually qualified himself with the silver bullet hold for his body.
That's great.
Yeah, that's what we're doing with the number 3 for Jesse Morunde is the silver bullet hold.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm there, man. I am going to be there for sure.
Yeah. They had one of the obstacle course racers from the Northwest, a young gal named Krish Newell, who weighs just under 130 pounds, and she did over 103 pounds on the flask, 2-hand flask lift, set the world record.
Oh my gosh!
Right here at the garage.
I did the flask at my arm lifting event that I had in Tri-Cities, the Columbia River Grip Challenge, and I did pretty. I mean, I also competed as I was hosting it, so it was kind of distracting, but. And I was so much stronger than everybody. Even Mike Cromer, he never trained grip, so it's like I blow them all out. But Mike Cromer got first place in super heavies because I'm not going to take the trophy, you know. So I gave it to him. But just as like an idiot, Jed Johnson really reminded me how stupid it was. But I could have broke the flask record. I think I got 250 or something.
Holy smokes!
Or it was more than that. No, it was more than that. It was, maybe it was 250. But anyway, I went straight to the 300, or I can't remember what it was, but I went straight, went for the moon for the last one and blew it. He goes, "Why'd you make such a jump, man? You could have had, the legit world record." And I got the inch pinch world record there for a little bit until Luke, a couple of guys beat me, but I'm still like number 1 or number 2 or number 3 in the world. That's in the CSA, or is it? Yeah, CS. What is it? It used to be called NAGS, National Association of Grip Sport, but now it's called Grip Sport International, GSI.
GSI, yeah.
Yeah, that's the other one. The meet that I held in Tri-Cities was a dual sanctioned meet. It was GSI and arm lifting.
Oh, that's cool.
I try to do both when I run my own stuff, but yeah, I can't wait to go to yours, man. That's exciting to have that to look forward to.
Yeah, we can't wait for you to come. It's going to be awesome. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we all.
You said you want to get a golden potato record. Speaking of, we're going to have the golden potato there doing the deadlift. What record are you looking at?
Probably the one-hand deadlift on it.
Deadlift record.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Mike Wilfong in the heavyweight class has a little over 160 on that thing. It's a pretty tough lift. It's
I know.
It's a pinch with the thumb, and then the fingers is basically a fingertip lift. So it's tough. It's a unique lift. That one is different.
Have you seen the double barrel that they were doing? I made a double because I seen your potato. I made a double barrel, or I've already had a double barrel here that I made a while back, but I was training with it the other day, and I think I had like 175 or something with it. So, so I'm in it, dude. I find my biggest motivation was I have a Euro that I ordered from Jed Johnson. His version he calls the Napalm. There's the Napalm Nightmare, which is the rolling handle, but he also's got his Euro is called the Napalm, which is the same as the world, the one that's competed with all over the world. And I got the full thickness, the 50 millimeter. My pinch, my wide pinch like that is my only drawback as far as grip goes. And I'm seeing guys like Arto, that Arto guy, doing reps with 220 and 230 and stuff like that. And I couldn't even break 200. Well, finally, you'll see, I think I posted that. I know it's on my Facebook page. I finally got 200 like last week. But I had to actually work for it. I had to do just like with any progression, 5-3. I kind of use the 5-3-1 method to get there on that,
We do a lot of that. Yeah, this guy just hit. He hit 205 on our. Well, we have a wooden version of the flask, which is basically the same exact dimensions, and he hit 205 on that thing, and it's just pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So.
I see. I know who Mike Wilfong is. I've seen him. He looks really strong.
No, this is Adam that hit 205. This guy right here.
Oh, good.
He hit 205 on the two-hand wooden flask. Yeah,
I'm chasing Wilfong.
Yeah, that's why he's getting so strong, is he's in Wilfong's weight class, so he competes.
Good.
Yeah, we work out with him a lot. He's become a good buddy of ours. So.
Yeah, that's so awesome, and I'm really good friends with Todd. So I mean, and then you'll love Matt. Matt's just a great guy. He did a big weight drop recently, but he actually hired Kabuki lately and has really worked on his technique. You know, he wants to
on Instagram. He posts every day.
Yeah.
Matt Brown?
Oh no, Matt Wenning. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, this is Matt Brown, the guy in Washougal that I'm talking about. But so that's cool, man.
Contact Matt Brown. He's really close.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I told him yesterday I was going to be on here, and I said you need to get a hold of him too, so you can get a potato.
Absolutely, for sure.
He was feeling like he kind of wasn't going to be too interesting, but I'm like, I beg to differ, man, because he is very interesting. Plus, he's super knowledgeable, especially with, you know, in the last few years since him and I have collaborated. And his gym is outstanding. His garage gym is elite FTS equipment and stuff. And
that's cool. Wow.
He's legit, dude. He's strong too. That at my silver bullet hold here, he got the 3.5 for like 17 seconds or whatever, and that's what qualified him for Worlds. You know,
that's huge. That's huge.
He was like the 275-pound class, you know. So,
good size, yeah.
Or no, he wasn't that much. I'm sorry. No, he's 220 class.
Wow, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's my size, doing a 3.5 silver bullet hold. I'm hoping to get to the 3.5. I just did a 151-pound gripper, and I probably got like 15 seconds on it, and I was pretty happy with that. So,
how many pounds you said?
151.
Oh, that's huge. That's
great.
That's where I'm at right now because I've gotten away from grippers for a while. You get away from them, they're gone. You know.
Here's the thing. I'm exceptionally better at grippers and bending than probably everything else in grip. I got my grippers way back in the day and played with them all through college and did nothing else that had to do with grip, and worked up to a 2.5 and have a really good base in grippers. So then when I started bending, I just smashed some things. I was pretty good at those two things, but my axle's like maybe 260 max, and my two-hand pinch is like in the 150, 60 range. So I have some work to do, but my grippers, I can smash on those.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm more
like everything else. Everything but grippers, he smokes me in.
I'm kind of like Adam Glass. I love the two. I mean, I have a Saxon bar that's super badass. I mean, it's a 3x6 steel tube.
Whoa. And
what I did is slipped a crappy Olympic bar inside it, and then I gusseted it on the ends, so the ends spin.
Yeah.
You know, so it's 70 pounds by itself.
Wow.
But that Saxon bar is sweet.
Yeah.
It is sweet.
That's an awesome DIY, man. We do a lot of DIYs. That's great.
That's really
cool. Well, that's another reason why I love you guys, is because my power gym is a lot of DIY stuff. It doesn't even start with this gym here, though. Like I said, back in 2000, I was making stuff on the fly, you know, because I was reading. As soon as I read something in Dinosaur Trade, I'm like, I went and threw a bunch of crap together and said, let's try this, you know.
Yeah.
And we would do it, you know.
And now some of the stuff in grip is kind of rare and expensive, like a blob. That'll cost you a pretty penny. So we just made them out of concrete.
Well, that's where Matt Brown is my special buddy, because he doesn't really go for the cheesy stuff. He goes for the real stuff. He's got a whole collection of blobs, and I got the other half of them.
All right, we got this guy, man. Yeah. We got to go put our hands on some of those blobs. That's cool.
got a genuine Thomas Inch replica.
Oh,
You know,
that's awesome. That's one
Matt
thing.
doesn't
Have a cast bell.
Matt doesn't cut corners, man. He's got the holders of grippers incrementally pre-rated and everything. He doesn't mess around.
Great to see that. That's fantastic.
But he doesn't mind the homemade stuff either. You know, he's cool. He's cool. He's not really it's not what you think. It's not like he's trying to beat everybody, but he just takes it seriously, you know. And he puts his mind into it, and when he does that, he usually makes some pretty good, impressive gains and stuff. But I just don't like spending that type of money on everything. I do eventually need to get a Thomas. I wish I could just show you guys. I wonder if I could just show you my gym, because I got Thomas Inch.
Yeah, we'd love to see it if you can manage that. Do you have it just on your cell phone here?
Let me. This is going to echo, but I'll continue on my phone for a second, or I'll join you in another room here on my phone. I'll turn the sound down on this when that happens, but yeah, I'll walk you through my gym.
Awesome.
I also got on my YouTube channel, you'll see I just started what I call the strongman shop outside. I took some of the old crap I had in here. I had some old 50-pound 1-inch plates and stuff, and I took them out to the garage because I have an axle out there for that. So I got the strongman shop out there now. Ever since COVID started, I branched out my strongman stuff, because in town here we got the Muscle Shack, which is a sweet strongman and powerlifting gym. You guys, if you ever come to Walla Walla, you would love to see that gym. It's pretty sweet.
We don't even have a strongman gym here in our area. We had Odin's, but I think they closed down. Yeah.
Oh, you got Cerberus guy. You got him right there in your town. Ken, oh God, what the heck is his name? The guy that that sells Cerberus equipment. He's right there in Vancouver.
We'll have to look it up.
Yeah, he's the real deal. There's a couple girls over there that Todd and I know that are pretty serious strongman competitors right there at that gym.
Okay.
Ken Nowicki is his name.
Okay.
And it's he's from Scotland, but his gym is called I don't know. You'll find it. Ken, I'll give you the link to that too. But yeah, he's right there. I mean, every time I come over to Matt's, I try to get over to Vancouver so I can go pick out some more stuff from Cerberus, you know.
Yeah, there then, definitely.
Yeah, he's right there.
And then we'll also make a trip up to Walla Walla and come see you. You know, we've something on the road.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, between Matt and Ken, there you go. Between Matt and Ken Nowicki's gym, it's worth me going over there too, and you guys, you know, I love seeing what you guys are doing.
Yeah, because they said that grip kind of died down in this area, and we're just trying to get the guys that used to do it involved to try to spark it back up.
Well, when you get exposed to who's over there in Vancouver and Portland, you're going to have to really stay focused, because the strongman like Ken Nowicki and those people, they're serious about strongman. They really don't care that much about grip. And then you got grip guys that care about grip, you know, and then you got power lifters like at Chris Duffin's gym at Kabuki Strength, you know. You ever go over there?
I've stopped at Kabuki's, yeah, but I wasn't able to do much because of the whole pandemic thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk to them about because I got my PhD in performance psychology, and they don't really have a psychologist on their team, so I've been talking to them a little bit about that.
Sweet. Yeah, no, you're gonna branch. You're gonna do well over there. You need it. You know, you could probably end up having like Chris Duffin. You should get Ken Nowicki on your show, because Ken was also on Motivation and Muscle. That's how I learned about him. he used to be in Colorado, but then he ended up moving to Vancouver. I was like, wow. Because, you know, he was actually, he was one of the youngest, if I can remember right, I think he did make it to World's Strongest Man, or pretty close. You know, he's really well known, and everybody's Cerberus stuff, all those guys that have Cerberus in the strongman world for their elbow sleeves and knee sleeves and all that, have all come through Ken, you know, right here in your town. So
Cool.
I know, it's crazy.
So how old are you, Jason?
I'm 47. So I've been after this for a long time.
So what's your current athletic goal at that age?
I'll tell you one thing. Have you heard of the 8X clubs and maces?
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, I've used some Indian clubs and stuff. Yeah, is that what you're talking about?
I'm making Indian clubs right now, and I'm training people in that. In fact, I got a guy I just started training this week. I made him a set of Indian clubs because he's 20 years older than I am, and he's not really interested in lifting heavy weights. So I'm like, okay, I made him 1 pound Indian clubs. And I go, it's not about weight with these things, you know, because I've learned a lot about those. But 8X, or it's called ADEX, ADEX, and that's adjustable clubs and maces. And that actually I got linked with them real big time too, because of motivation and muscle. And I've made my own personal pursuit with those, because I base all my training Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is squat, bench, deadlift, basically. You know, Monday is squat based, Wednesday is bench or any type of press, and then Fridays are deadlifts of some kind, you know, whether they're axle deadlifts or powerlifting deadlifts or strongman deadlifts. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, especially coming up this time of year, I start working as a contractor. I'm a painting contractor, so I'm working more and more. So I don't work out long periods of time, especially while I'm working. I'm getting too old and it's just too hard. So I do short workouts on those days. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've dedicated now Tuesdays to club training.
Yeah.
And then Thursdays, mace. And it's only on Thursday, it's my 30-minute AMRAP. And I just did it today. I loaded my 8X club to 30 pounds, you know, like a month and a half ago, which is a fully loaded 8X when you get, you know, just the mace itself. I took that 30-pounder and went for an AMRAP for 30 minutes to see where I'd end up. And after a couple of weeks, I decided that 600 was going to be the threshold. So a couple of weeks ago, I got 608 with 30 pounds, 360s, you know.
That's crazy.
And I tell myself, once I got to the 30-pound mark, then I go up 5 pounds. So the last couple of weeks, I've been at 35, and today I actually got 500 with 35.
Wow, nice.
So
as soon as I got into steel bending, I got on the shoulder rock and got on Indian clubs, because you know how it affects the shoulders. So that was
absolutely. Yeah. That's awesome. And I saw your homemade shoulder rock and stuff. All that stuff is good. You know, if you're you got a real shoulder rock too, don't you?
Nope, just homemade.
Yeah, no, that homemade stuff is just fine. I mean, it's tempting to start going and buying all those different things, but like you're doing, just keep doing that, you know.
I figure if we can build it, we'll build it, and if we can't, then we'll buy the real thing. And then eventually, if we do a contest with the real thing, we'll slowly start to own the real things that we have to use in the contest.
Well, that's the problem with like arm lifting. You gotta have arm lifting stuff, you know. Even the axle deadlift, you have to have that Apollon axle. And if you guys have one?
Mike Wilfong
has one. We have 2 other axles.
So Wilfong can bring it. So
we have the cheap Titan axle that's powder coated, and then we have a knurled axle, which is kind of neat.
That's sweet. Yeah, Mike Cromer says I could borrow they're appalling if I ever need it too. So I got one here. If you guys, if we ever do a deadlift meet.
Well, absolutely.
My record axle deadlift with an Apollon is 410.
Wow.
So okay.
Yeah, that's something.
I finally hit 300. I couldn't pull 303, but I'm about 300 pounds on the Apollon's axle.
That's good, man. That's really good. No, that's good.
He's only been grip training since I don't know, like 9 months, 10 months. So it's pretty fantastic.
No, that's good. That's excellent. And Jed Johnson is an outstanding resource. If you can get him on your show, and also you could hire him. You could also join his it's called the Grip. What is it called? It's like a monthly membership of his special page. Here, I'm going to join this audio. It'll probably echo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got that echo going because
okay, I'm gonna unplug this camera, and then we'll turn off my microphone. Okay, there we go. We're still echoing. Huh? Wait, that's not it. There we go.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, my phone now. But I'll take you to my valuable gym. I've had this thing for 20 years, man. This gym. And it's just gotten better and better over the years. I'll show you. You guys will love this. How do you flip it?
There should be a little double arrow thing on the screen when you touch it.
Double arrow?
Yeah, it's like a switch arrow. If you touch your screen, it should bring up options, and then you should see arrow on top and bottom in a circle.
Oh, of course, there it is. Check these out. I just made these.
Oh, wow, those are nice.
Those are maple. They're a pound and a half, but I just made them the other day.
Those are very nice.
Because because I do such an intense mace workout on Thursdays, my Tuesdays is with wooden Indian clubs. Just as here's my entrance to the gym.
I like that.
And there's my sign.
Nice. I like that rustic entrance. That's so cool.
This is where the name started. My wife bought this sign for me one day, and that's where the name of this gym started.
That's cool. That's so cool.
But here's the light switch right here. So here it is. Down here, there's half my plates over here on this side. And there's two sets of 100-pounders there.
Wow.
And then here's my other half of the plates over on this side.
Oh, wow.
There's an anvil right there.
Oh, yeah.
But I got this I made out of lead. This is 130 pound, but it's got the thickness, the thick handle.
Yeah.
Like a Thomas Hitch. And then I made this.
I like the size of that. Holy
shit. This is concrete, but I put plates inside it. So that's 150 pounds. But this bad boy right here, if you can see this thing's in thick. This is at 2/2 of a propane tank.
Wow.
Half the inside half is loaded, the outside half is loaded with lead, and the inside half is concrete. This is 220-pound handle per dumbbell. When that thing rotates, I see this sign here my wife made. There was a community kind of in Walla Walla. They had that, I forgot what they call it, some spring fling thing at Pioneer Park, and my friend had a booth there, so they let me bring these down.
And I had this, I actually had Matt's True Thomas Inch, but then I had this other one here too. But you can see I gave people an opportunity to try lifting it, and you can see who made it. Nobody did. Over here, I did some silver bullet holds. You know, I allowed people to do silver bullet holds, and all I have is, you know, ones that got the COC number 1, and a few got the 2.5.
Well, that's cool.
So here's some of my bar attachments. And then, of course, my TV and my timer and all that. I got a whole bunch of chains, you know.
Yeah.
My weights for the silver bullet. Here's a bunch of grip implements that I made. Country Crush is another one that I always hold, you know, Country Crush contest. So I just put these 3-inch, 2-inch. I made these 2-inch handles for it.
Okay.
Because I didn't have them. It's like the wood swelled up on it. But you know, here's some other. I made this handle here. Got balls, you know,
wow.
you do a deadlift with it. That's pretty pretty tough.
Yeah.
And I got all my grippers over here. So, and here's the big Saxon bar that I made.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I made the axle the same as I did the Saxon bar. I just took and slipped a tube over actually I took the end off of this Olympic bar, shoved the tube in there, and then you can see it's welded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real solid. I got the Kabuki trap bar here. That's the one you could tip up on its ear. Huh?
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a sweet one.
Their bars are really nice.
And then I got my Euro here. That's where I got the 200 finally. I feel so stupid. I should be training with 250 or something, but that 200 was tough to get. The Euro is different than the Flask, man. It's so unwieldy, you know. The Flask is so dead, you know, the center of gravity is right underneath you. Mm-hmm. You know, but this thing has got weight on both ends, and I don't know, it's just a different thing.
It is. It's a lot different than the weight being underneath it rather than in your hands. It just feels different.
Yeah, it sure does. I built this back in the day when I got the dinosaur training book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But I got a bunch of different accessories up here. Got some gravity boots up here.
Oh, wow.
But this is my this is the rack I work off of. It's a really good commercial Smith machine, but I also have these standoffs, you know, for free weights. Man. And just enough room for the seated calf raise. And then in this closet, I have a bunch of all my bench press shirts from the Equip training days, and then back in the way back in there is trophies that I've won. I don't know if you can see it very well. Oh, the light is just horrible. But there's a bunch of trophies back there from years past, from powerlifting and grip. And the one I just got recently was from the Highland Games over here in Athena. I did the anvil toss for distance. It was a 220-pound anvil, and I got first place on that.
I'd be happy to pick that up. Yeah, it's a big.
What's a
big weight to throw around? I said I'd be happy just to pick it up.
Well, guess who trained me on the technique? Because it was such a strange event that first attempt I tried my own kind of way of doing it. Didn't quite go very far, but thanks to Mark Wechter being there, he gave me some tips on the technique, and I was able to throw it farther than everybody else. So
that's crazy.
So
how was it?
What's that?
Is it a two-hand throw? How are you throwing that? And
it was the technique that he taught me, and it makes perfect sense, is you you basically, you just have it on its, let me see if I can remember right now. You have it on its top with the bottom of it, the anvil up in the air.
Yeah.
And you squat down and deadlift it off the ground, put it on your lap like a stone, and then you just roll it so it's upright. The base of it's here and it's upright in your hands, and you just press it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to press 220, which no big deal for me. But then when you run and you throw it forward, you throw it from as high up as you can, so that the distance, from the height, will actually give you more distance.
That is a nutty event. Hold a 220-pound anvil above your head, run with it, throw it. That is awesome.
A lot of us were just trying to do swings and all kinds of stupid things. And what Mark said made perfect sense. If you have it super high, the higher up it is, the farther it's got to go down. And he was right. I won by like 2 inches.
Nice. Nice.
That's all it took. Awesome. I didn't enter the Highland Games this last year because that's another thing. That's like anything else. I used to do a lot of those, and in that closet there, I got quite a few medals from different events in the Highland Games. But if you're not practicing that sport, you don't have a chance. Those guys are so good at that stuff.
Also, didn't want to try it after watching Nick Best try to throw that giant pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that caber toss.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Nick Best tried the gator toss thing on the History Channel when they were doing that, and didn't end well for him.
No.
Got himself right underneath the legs, and it's like, yeah, I'm not throwing that.
Yep. That's how it is, man. Let me see if I can plug this back in and be back on my other camera. Yeah, I like this. Well, I do a lot of Zoom, so kind of figured out a good system here.
All right. So while you're working on that, I'm going to throw some questions at you.
Sure.
You answered about your motivation to compete already. So what do you consider your greatest achievement athletically?
Well, I think just I
think I got this.
I don't know why the camera's not turning on.
There we go.
Is the camera on now?
Still on the phone.
Well, I'll forget.
Just forget this camera.
Okay. My greatest achievement, well, I'm kind of like Robert Oberst as far as deadlifts go, and that's just not my thing, So getting about a 630 deadlift in a meet, was was an accomplishment for me, But I feel like that's one of them because I was able to get state record at that time in deadlift. My bench for sure, because we got Ryan Kennelly over here, bench monster. You know him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And him and I are the same age. We've been friends a long time, and I have. He motivated me to get up to a 525 raw bench at one time.
Wow!
So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, we followed him closely during the old days of the bench monsters.
His new show, he's got a show just like yours on YouTube, but it's called Bench Monster TV every Thursday.
That's awesome.
And Tod was on it one time, Tod Becraft. So that was a good show. But yeah, that 525 bench was a big deal for me. One thing, I guess lately, just some of the grip events that I've been training for, I've been happy to reach, record numbers. I got a 4 seconds on a Captains of Crush #4 silver bullet hold, you know. So that was cool.
Yeah, that awesome. Thanks for playing with the #4. That's cool.
Yeah. A lot of these mace AMRAPs I'm doing lately have actually been motivating to me too. It's amazing how something like that is so different, because it's not, 30 pounds, but it's 360s for 30 solid minutes, getting 608. And I can still see myself. I mean, if I get all the way up to a fully loaded mace right now, it'll be 50 pounds. The one that I think mine could load up to 60 pounds, because I have some added weights to it.
Yeah, it is.
So I can see myself getting up there, for a 30-minute AMRAP. So that's that's like a new frontier for me. It's an endurance thing, It's because endurance with a something unusual like a mace, it's as strange as it sounds, it kind of feels like one of my favorite accomplishments is that right now. Yeah. It probably has a lot to do with my age too, because you obviously at some point in your life, I mean, I had the mentality of being bigger and stronger than anybody in the world, and I've never been intimidated by any of those guys, and I have number like that 525 bench, that's elite, I mean, that's elite.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And other things like that, strongman accomplishments, they've matched on par with even the strongest men in the world, but you can't hold on to every bit of that or any of it very long. So constantly changing and finding stuff like this mace thing has been it's really actually kind of making me in the best shape of my life, really,
Yeah, that's great.
Because it's carrying over to this other stuff. Grip, there's so much grip involved in mace.
Oh, for sure.
Well, on the opposite side of that, what would you consider your greatest blunder or injury?
Oh, jeez. That you could find on, if you search you on Facebook, because I posted it, and it's for sure the worst thing I ever did to myself, and it was there in that gym, right, that I showed you. I had 570 pounds, and I took it off the rack to squat, and I was already kind of fatigued. And I had now I have safety straps, but I had the stupidest thing I ever did is I had it on video. I pulled it out, and I thought I was going to be able to, legitimately squat that weight with no safety devices. And I got down, and I couldn't come up. So I thought, I've never done this, but I threw the bar off my back, like the Russians do. Yeah. I'd never done that in my life, so I didn't do it right. And when I fell off my back, one foot went forward, which was my right foot, but my left leg stayed behind, and that bar came down and smashed my tibia.
Oh, man.
Just above my ankle, and it was like a green break, like in
I was gonna say he dropped it on his leg. Oh god.
And that happened in 2015, and
wow.
And I was getting ready to compete in a full powerlifting meet too, a USPA one. I ended up doing the bench only, even though I still had a broken leg. I got 425 bench, and I almost got the 455, which my goal was to get 475 at that meet. So I still did okay with the bench, but just thinking about what I did to my leg, and it's still got scarring on my, my ankle area and stuff. It was just, that was the stupidest thing I ever did.
That's brutal. Oh, wow. So, what are some lifestyle habits you subscribe to that you think would benefit the average person trying to get healthy and fit?
I would say for one thing, I don't have it here with me, but I got a workout book, you know, a log book. Just, you know, just imagine like this spiral notebook. It's not this notebook, but get yourself a workout book. And in the front, some of those workout logs are on the beginning, they'll have like a space where you write your goals and your, you know, your what you're going to do and things like that. Put it down in that book, set that book by your bed, and whatever fitness or strength goal, you know, which I encourage strength goals more than anything, but even if it's fitness, running and things like that or whatever, write down every one of your workouts, keep track of it, you know, don't and be completely honest, and down below your workout, make a note of everything, all the details, how you felt, what time it was, things like that. And look at that book, you know, for your next time. I would recommend that for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. We have and we keep it in our gym at all times. So we write down everything after every workout, everything we did. And even our last rep, if it was good, if it was shaky, if it was rough, if it was clean. So 100% agree with that.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what you do for sure. Being in that Venice Beach culture that I was at so much, and being influenced by Michael Hearn, that 4:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, if you could get yourself into that, do it, because that definitely has merit, you know. Do that before you do all other things, you know. Do your routine. If you could by any means at least once a week do early morning training like that, is like locked into your schedule, you know, no matter what, it'll make a ton of difference mentally and physically. You'll notice it, you know. You'll just become a different person, you know. You will. You'll be the person you want to be, you know, when it comes to being strong and fit and things like, or whatever your goal is, you know. You'll reach it if you at least do once a week early morning, if not each time you train.
So what techniques have you discovered over the years that may be a little bit unconventional or different that you found that has significantly increased your performance over maybe a standard traditional technique?
Well, like I've been harping on that mace, you know, mace training. I'm telling you, it's so old. It's older than barbells and dumbbells and things like that. And like you guys are discovering too with the Indian clubs, they don't have to weigh anything, but those things will open your body up, and the mind muscle connection. Well, the full physical and mental connection as far as movement in space and precision and things like that will carry over to all other things too, you know. Whether you're you know, I know a lot of people will take like powerlifting, and they'll take it, you know, they'll be real technical with their sets and reps and their this and that, but that unconventional aspect of mace training and Indian club training, and just that tempo and movement and precision and time, you know, reps for a specific amount of time and all that, adds a dimension that nothing else does. Plus it's another, you know, it's another range of motion that you don't get from static strength.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm telling you, that's to me, I think of it as I drive around with a 8X mace in my truck and an 8X club in my truck at all times, and I don't care if people don't know what it is. I swear by that stuff.
It's so good for your shoulders and rotator cuff and stuff like that, especially if you do a lot of overhead press or bench or anything like that you're just one dimensional, one movement.
For sure.
Like
Yeah.
what you said about it opening up the body. A lot of people don't really know exactly what that means, but we close our bodies and kind of, as we stress out, we kind of more go into a fetal position or a closed position, a tight, tense position, 3 times often more than we open. And with the whole pandemic and everything going around, a lot of people are tenser, and that opening up the body, it will provide physical and mental benefits. How do you think it helps with your stress doing the Indian clubs?
Absolutely. I'll tell you one thing, that Thursday AMRAP with the mace, I don't know, like Rick Brown, he's a friend of mine and he's Mr. Mace Man. I don't know if he really kind of likes my thinking on how heavy I'm going, but I'm telling you that AMRAP with a heavy mace like that it just like, it's like a nuclear bomb when it comes to stress. It just blows it out. Because before you start, you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. But then you just watch that timer and you go for it. It just takes care of, the stress is gone for a couple days, because you put your body under such an unusual, it's kind of like, I don't know, just unusual movement that just, it like shakes everything up and you get recentered again. And I love that.
That's huge because everybody can do the Indian clubs, you can, like you said, they start at 1.5 pounds and you're going up to 60 pounds, but 1.5 pounds, anybody can use those. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. I'll tell you another thing too that I go back and forth on, and this I give credit to Michael Hearn because he's a squat guy. He loves squats, and changing up your squats all the time is important. Do low bar, do high bar, do elevated heels. Squats are a must. You got to have them every week, no matter what, but they need to be different. Don't go for that powerlifting 5x5 all year long. Change it up.
Yeah, we started that for about 6 months to get our foundation. Then we started changing things up.
Right now, I'm on the high bar again. I'm trying to mimic, which I'm so far away from, but I'm trying to mimic the classic Tom Platz high bar, with the narrow, because I brace up against the plates with my hands.
Yeah, we use the buffalo bar because it's Adam's shoulder's a little wonky and he tends to like to use that bar. But we're going to start switching it up a little bit more. And we're going to go into high bar a little bit more and start trying different things because both of us have a weakness in squat. We just haven't trained it much,
I don't know if you've seen that in my gym, but yeah, I got a buffalo bar too. And when I'm doing the heavy 600-pound squats, yeah, it's with that.
Yeah.
But right now I'm doing between 315 and 405 on those Tom Platz high rep, high bar type, narrow stance squats.
Yeah.
We can do our lighter squats, higher bar.
I tell you, I met Tom Platz at Venice Golds, and that was like meeting, Yoda or something.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
His you know how he is. He's so cerebral, and when he talks about squats the way he does, all you want to do is narrow stance, high bar squats all the time.
Yeah.
With squat shoes, you're doing that, and that's one thing. I texted Ed Cohn not long ago, and I told him that I was going to be doing some axle squats, with tires to a barrel in my garage, and I go, what should I use for shoes? My squat shoes or like Converse. And he just said, hey, if you're doing wide stance, use the flat shoes. If you're doing narrow stance, it's the squat shoes. So that's what Ed Cohn's, he's such a genius. He just keeps everything so simple. And that's the truth. You definitely want to use squat shoes on that narrow stance. But if you see those Russians and those old that old footage of those training halls where they'll sit there with two upright squat stands, and 500 pounds on bumper plates and just do those Olympic narrow stance high bar squats forever, butt to the ground. There's a reason why they do that, because that's good stuff, man.
Absolutely.
And you got to make yourself flexible enough to do both. because you could just be a powerlifting squatter, but you'll lose so much mobility, and you don't want to do that.
No.
You know.
So if you could start your training all over again with the knowledge you know today, what would you do differently?
If I could do what I'm doing now from the time I was 15, I think I would be on par with all those guys, you know, like Martins, Lisi's, and because Martins is my hero, you know. I'm telling you, when it comes to somebody who's got it all figured out, I think Martins, Lisi's is the guy. And I feel like I would be at that level. I would have been at that level at he's 30. So at 30, I would have been at his level at 30, and who knows where I'd be now. But, you know, that's what I would have done, is what I'd be doing now. I would have incorporated it then, because I know I have a lot more potential in me than I actually reached, you know.
Yeah, that's a huge point. The new generation, they're coming up with so much more knowledge than the generation before. It's amazing how much information is coming out about strongman, how to do it right, the nutrition. I mean, we used to see the big, 6'8" guys had no idea how to feed themselves right back in the day. And now we see guys that are 7 foot tall and have their nutrition right. And it's amazing that, figured that stuff out.
I'm telling you, nothing kind of screwed me up more than that era, like Tod Becraft was talking about, those early powerlifting days where you just ate and got bigger and bigger and bigger. I was doing that too. When I had the 525-pound bench, I was eating, and it was just so stupid, because it's like, don't think about your weight, think about how much you're lifting. That, like you said, the newer guys are really getting it together. But I think Martins, out of all of them, is the smartest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been following him, and I'm like, I think those other guys, even like this year's World's Strongest Man, Novikov, he's an amazing competitor too. But I think Martins is going to bring it back again, because he just seems to get it.
Seeing how Novikov's longevity is.
Yeah.
Yeah. With his size and how much intensity he's putting out, I'm interested to see his longevity. I think a lot of other people are kind of at the same spot with that.
Yeah.
So I squat a lot in flat shoes, like you said, Converse and Vans, and then I squat barefoot. What's the benefit of the squat shoes? Why should I have those?
I like I said, with that narrow stance, if you want to get that, because we don't have, how they, I don't know if you know, but not long ago, Chris Duffin made a video about nationality and squat ability.
Okay.
And he basically brought out that the Asians have that, the ability more than anybody else to sit all the way, I think those squat shoes will really help you.
I've watched a lot of videos of their team, the Dragon Pharma team. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I think squat shoes will help you to keep that. If you're going to do Olympic style squats, use Olympic style squat shoes, and if you're going to go for the power, go to the flat shoes. But those other ones, that slight elevation in your heels allows you to, your hips to break, farther down. And that's what you want to keep that mobility.
Awesome. That's great. It's good information. So what's the most important piece in your home gym, and why?
I would say that, if I had to shake it all down, it would have to be that Buffalo bar, a 45-pound bar, and that rack, and then those plates. If I had to just resort to just that, that's the most important thing. I could wrap towels around it for thick handle, because thick handle is another huge thing to me. But if I only could use, keep it simple, I'd just wrap a towel around it. But I would I'd definitely have a rack, a bar, and then plates,
So what advice do you have for the average person trying to get fit?
My advice is kind of like Terry Todd, don't weaken. Strength first. I don't care what your goal is. Strength first. You know, forget about endurance. I know a lot of people like, oh no, I want to get intense and, you know, sweat off all this and get some abs and stuff like that. Strength first, you know, everything comes second. So be strong, you know. And I get so many people that get upset with me about that. I'm like, well, I'm done talking. I don't have any more to say. You got to be strong first. You know, if you don't believe me, do whatever you want.
70s and 80s, you know. I mean, it's when you build that up and then you slowly deteriorate in your 70s, 80s, 90s, you live a long time with that base, and that helps a lot. Yeah.
Josh Bryant would say the same thing, you know.
Don't overdo it. I agree, though, 100%. Who were you saying? Josh Bryant would say the same thing?
I would say he would, yeah. Because he always talks about having a base strength, you know, no matter what he's doing training wise.
Yeah, I think we all hope it's like odd when we're 75, you know?
Yeah.
If we'd all be like that, that'd be amazing.
Or the juice guy.
Oh, Jack LaLanne?
Yeah, or the juice guy, Jack LaLanne.
Well, hey, today's Jack LaLanne is Mike O'Hearn.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the foremost quality of that man by anybody who knows him well is he's the strongest guy in any room, you know. And that guy, to the way he's going, I feel like he's going to go forever unless he gets cancer or something, you know, which we would never want that to happen. But the guy is just, he's strength, and his philosophy is strength from a weak point, you know, like he'll do flies and show everything he'll do bodybuilding wise, he'll do from angles that are weaker, and he'll come.
I love doing things from awkward angles. I don't know if you saw some of my weird bends I did recently, laying on my stomach with my arms out, reaching around an Atlas stone. I'm all for being strong in the strangest of angles, because when you get in a confrontation with someone and you have to deal with someone else that's attacking you, you're not going to have a good stance. You're not going to have the right position. It's going to be messy.
Well, also think, you know, you don't even have to think about in terms of fighting either. Think about if you're married and your wife, you get to the age where your wife is, you guys are elderly, and your wife needs to be actually picked up out of a bed, you know, or, you know, a family member needs to be lifted out of a bed, things like that, you know.
Yeah.
That's never going to be on a balanced platform with, you know, even distribution of weight. It's going to be very awkward, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, my sister's a caretaker. She's called us to help her out with those situations on occasion.
Yeah.
So definitely understand having to pick up people, for sure. So any questions you have for us, or anything else you wanted to add before we let you go?
no, just keep me informed about that that event you're going to have, because I definitely want to be there. And I'm so excited that you guys are doing this. You're on your way. You're gonna, you know, just you're finding really good people. And if you want any more people, you know, let me know. I could ask around.
Absolutely.
That's great. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Very appreciated.
I bet. I mean, I could give you Ed Cohn's number. Even I bet you he might even do it. You know,
Yeah.
he's such a down to earth guy that even though he's the Michael Jordan of powerlifting, he's humble. So he's not afraid to help people out with their, you know, like you guys, you putting the work in, you definitely need to be given the credit for it, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're just trying to get a good community here, so that would help us out.
That'd
Huge.
be amazing.
Yeah.
And then definitely Brown, we want to meet him, and since he's right over here in Washougal, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, I'll text you his, or I'll email you his phone number. You could text him and let him know, you know, that he's going to watch this for sure. I told him that this is going to come out. So
Yeah.
but
Awesome. Perfect.
yeah. So
Thank you very much for joining us.
thank you so much, man. It was a lot of fun, and you guys are, yeah, this is awesome. keep going, man, and grow like crazy. You guys will, you know, if you knew the story of Motivation and Muscle and Eric Fiorello in 5 years, I mean, like I said, he's got like 1,200 episodes. He just, I don't know what happened to all his. I don't know if you could get it some kind of an archive or whatever.
We'll look for sure.
Yeah, but he did that all for free, you know, and it's just a shame that he's gone, you know.
Yeah.
Because he knew he was going somewhere really good, and I was pulling for him all the way, and then all of a sudden it just went flat because he died.
We'll have to pick up where he left off for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I could get you Rick Brown for sure.
Perfect.
Awesome.
You know Rick Brown?
We haven't met him yet. No.
Mr. Baseman?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, no, I can get you hooked up. I'll text you his or I'll text him your or I'll give him your number. You can contact him also.
Awesome.
So yeah, he's awesome.
And then, like I said, we'll have to, you know, travel up to Walla Walla and come see you as well and get in that, you know, gym of yours. And we hear about it. Everybody wanted to know about it since you've had it for 20 years. So that'd be a fun road trip. And then definitely we'll have you down for our contest, and that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I love going over there. And Matt will be involved too because he loves it. He's got some Atlas stuff. He's got a lot of good stuff in his gym. So if you need anything, especially for the grip competition, he probably will have it.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you guys. We'll hear from you later, and I really appreciate being on this.
Absolutely.
You guys have a good one. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
You too. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.